This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Oh, there it is. Hi, everybody. It is the After Party Live. Boy, am I late today. There was a Mark Thompson show after meeting, a lot of tech trouble today. And I think, what happens is he puts so much time and effort into making this a good show, into hiring staff, into getting everything just right, into lining up guests and all these moving parts of the show. And then when technical trouble kind of waylays us, it's upsetting. And so that was not a good meeting, but that's okay. Tomorrow will be better because Greg Palast will be on the show and David Katz will be on the show. And there's so many good things happening tomorrow. I am sure that you will love it. Going to the chat because I could see you guys hanging out. Hello to you, Nolaphidian. And what's up, Mama? Hope you're having a great day. Yvonne says, peeking in and out, home sale may be happening sooner than anticipated. Selling the house, that's a big thing, right? Sharing animal information. I'm a professional massage. I like it. And it really is about self-care. I was talking to my sister on the phone last night, and she's had a really rough week. She's a therapist, and there's a lot of things happening. And it just feels like, the problem with being a therapist is you're bound by secrets, right? Silence, a cone of silence. She can't tell me the things that are weighing heavy, but I can imagine the things that are weighing heavy. And so it becomes about self-care. So doing things like Waterfall Wednesday and getting a massage and taking care of your body and your mind, these things become important. So good for you, Sandy, getting a little self-care in. And I would argue that, even if you don't have a lot of money to get a massage or take a vacation or do whatever, there are things you can do that you enjoy in the world to kind of put yourself a little more at ease, to remind yourself there are still good things in this world and there are still things that make life fun and good. Wes, with a report from Florida on the weather, says Florida has returned to normal winter weather. I am happy to report. That's good because my daughter, who has been more places in the world than I have, is headed to Florida. She's going to a national broadcast convention. I think it's a national television convention. It's with her broadcasting class from school, and there's a big competition in Tampa, Florida. So she's going to go there. I think it's Tampa. And so I'm glad to hear that she won't be walking on the icy roads of Florida. I don't have a lot of time to do stories, so there are some I want to get to. And I think, you sometimes you see animals in distress and it's upsetting, but when you realize that it's people helping animals and that the animals end up in a safe way, look at this swan strapped to the firefighter's ladder, getting a rescue. And you wouldn't think that, you think birds can handle all types of temperatures, but this winter has been super brutal and snowy and icy and low temperatures, and it has not been easy for people or for wildlife, right? This happened in Connecticut, where firefighters came to the rescue of this sweet swan stuck in a frozen Connecticut river. Norwalk Fire Department, they put on their cold water rescue suits, which puts them at risk when they're at a cold water rescue, right? They used ropes to carefully move out onto the Norwalk River yesterday. Then they found this swan's feet were actually frozen to the ice, so the swan couldn't move. It took them about a half hour to free this bird, and they brought it to shore without incident, which is amazing because the swan must have been so cold that it didn't fight or resist the rescue. The problem is they don't know how long the swan was stuck to the ice before someone figured something was wrong and called the fire department. Initially, they were worried the swan was just sitting there still and dead. But as they approached it, they noticed movement, and then they thought, okay, we can help here. We can do this. The deputy chief of the Norwalk Fire Department, Jonathan Maggio, said the swan actually appeared grateful for the rescue. The bird was happy to be out of the ice. They took it to the vet center. The vet says it's doing well and will make a full recovery. And once it regains its strength, they're going to properly release this swan. It wasn't their first animal rescue during this really, really chilly weather there either. They say they rescued a duck, they rescued a dog, but they said saving the swan also gave them valuable opportunities to train for future ice rescues. So it's about the swan right now, but the experience gained may help them in other types of rescues like this or helping people in the future. There's another rescue I wanted to tell you about, and it's this look at that beautiful animal. It it's crazy to me that people keep these massive lizards as pets, but this is a tegu creature, and the tegu also had to be rescued from the brutal cold. They called it lizard in a blizzard because this lizard, this tegu, was buried in snow in Rhode Island. I don't know how they realized it was buried, but it was buried. This man discovered this reptile buried in the snow in Rhode Island, and it was surviving in the snow, but we didn't know how well, right? According to the New England Wildlife Center, this man in Providence, Rhode Island, spotted this tegu lizard from his driveway yesterday. It was quickly brought indoors, wrapped in a t shirt to help it conserve heat. There's a store that sells reptiles in that area. It's called ET Reptiles. And they came and they picked up the tegu and they took it to an animal hospital. And the vets there said this lizard was extremely weak. It was very underweight. It was not moving well. Its tongue suffered frostbite and muscle weakness because of prolonged exposure to the cold. And this apparently leads to cell failure in cold blooded animals in low temperatures. This small portion of the tegu's tongue was amputated to help with its recovery. And they say now he's okay. He's resting comfortably. He's finally warm enough, which makes all the difference. And that they're rooting for a good outcome. They'll let everyone know a little bit more about this lizard in a blizzard who was rescued as well. So, see, people helping animals, things work out, and life is, there's bright spots to life. This one I'm kind of conflicted about. I have to tell you, I really love sea turtles. I love them so much. Sea turtles and dolphins, those are like my animals that I just find incredible beauty in. And somehow, like, some people say, oh, that's my spirit animal. I'm just somehow drawn to turtles and dolphins. I'm probably not the only one. And so I saw this story in SF Gate about turtles um causing a problem in Hawaii. See, these turtles are uh, endangered, the green sea turtle population, this in Hawaii specifically. And they're rebounding because they were marked as endangered. And because they're protected, their population has been allowed to increase. And so you see they have like Turtle Town where you can go snorkel at Turtle Town and see all the turtles swimming around you, though you're supposed to stay a certain number of feet away and not try to touch them or anything. And you see areas of the beach where they just come up and sun themselves on the sand or the rocks. So we know the population is growing, and this is great. But because federal law protects these animals, Native Hawaiians are saying, listen, there are more of them now. And so the native practice is harvesting turtles for food. I don't want to see a turtle harvested for food, but I also love the Hawaiians and support native cultural practices, right? So you have in the Pacific Northwest, uh, indigenous tribes there that will hunt orcas, right? And in Hawaii, using sea turtles for food. This has been the way it's always been done. And again, I don't want to see any of these sea creatures harmed, but Native Hawaiian fishermen say they come over here, the Americans, and they want to put all these laws and protections. And the fisherman says, hey, it's a source of food for us, just like fish, especially in islands where maybe food isn't super plentiful, Molokai and such. The island there has no large resorts. Its residents have a history of resisting development and over tourism. There's no Costco. There's no McDonald's. There's, very limited grocery stores on the island of Molokai. And so the residents say they largely rely on subsistence living, and that is hunting and fishing and gathering to feed their families. This fisherman says Molokai is different. It's hard over here. We depend on the land and the ocean, and these kind of laws that protect the turtles are affecting the people. The Hawaiian, we feel like they're trying to put us to extinction. So, should harvest rights be returned to Hawaiians is the question. Should Hawaiians be allowed to harvest sea turtles or endangered creatures that have been shown to have their population back on the rise? Should they be allowed to harvest them for food? Fisherman also says, make no mistake, the perpetuation of the species is of utmost importance to Hawaiians. So they want the species to thrive as well. So, is the population of turtles stable enough now to tolerate a limited harvest? The native Hawaiian fishermen are saying we want to be allowed to resume our millennia old relationship with this culture. The hanu, the green sea turtle. Should it be harvested for food now? That's the question. I'm kind of in the I I don't know what's right on this because you don't want to stomp on people's rights, but also, man, I love the hanu and I don't want to see it come to harm. What do you think? I'm going to the chat on this one. Tammy says the manatees are congregating at the springs. Oh, well, that's good. I'll note it for a future trip. That's wonderful. Looking at which could be your spirit animal. All right. Judy with the turtles. Nullifidian likes the sea otters. So does Sandy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's right to do. Tammy says they're eating iguanas in South Florida. No harvesting for endangered species there. I don't know. I read these stories and I just think, I don't I don't know. I don't know what the right opinion is on this one, you know? Because I love the animals too. All right, on to a happier story. How about this one? You can once again get married or have your vow renewal at Disney's Haunted Mansion. This summer, you can do this. Kind of a cool place. I know some people love to get married at Disneyland, and Disneyland has super expensive wedding packages, but now you can book Magnolia Park Terrace with the mansion in view starting in May of 2026. The Disney Cruise Line will also offer Haunted Mansion themed ceremonies inside the Haunted Mansion parlor aboard the Disney Destiny. They have a new ship there featuring shifting portraits and nautical lore tied to a ghostly sea captain and his bride. They're so smart. And now Disneyland is going to let people get married or renew their vows in the Haunted Mansion courtyard. It will be open for wedding ceremonies and vow renewals. And you can host up to 25 guests here. They have packages that include an officiant, light decor, photography, transportation to and from the Disneyland Resort Hotel. I mean, they'll do it up right. So whether you're going to the cruise lines or Disneyland, you're able to have a Haunted Mansion wedding. That's interesting. What do you do when you find a 150-year-old bottle of booze? Drink it. That's what you do. This bottle of booze was found in Utah by an archaeological team. They think it's 150 years old. There's a public archaeologist for the state of Utah. His name is Ian Wright. He said the bottle was among thousands of artifacts dating back to about 1870 to 1890, and it was found on U.S. Forest Service land used by the Alta Ski Resort. So they pick up this bottle of booze and it's full and it still has a cork in it. And he said, "Oh my gosh, this is a treasure." It is the first known or the only known intact bottle of alcohol to be found from this particular time period, 1870 to 1890. Really? Sometimes he said they find them in Missouri and places where Mississippi has shifted and there's been a sunken boat or a ship, but never in Utah. So, first in Utah. All right. We rarely find a bottle with a cork at all, or if we do find one, he said, the cork has shriveled up and shrunk inside of it, or just fragments of it. So it's pretty rare. So they decided, let's take a little sippy sip. He also enlisted the team of Utah's oldest legal distillery to analyze the contents of the bottle. They decided to extract some of the liquid without damaging the cork. This legal distillery in Utah the name of it is the High West. And they say the director of the High West was among the first to taste the liquid. He said, "I had a bit of trepidation going into it, but you've got to try it. It didn't smell like gasoline, didn't smell like tobacco spit." He said, "The flavor is fruity. There's a bit of leather and quite a bit of age on it. The favorite flavor, complex. There was an oxidized fruit note." The expert said the liquid appears to be low alcohol beer rather than liquor, and they're now hoping to try to recreate this beverage. See what they were drinking way back when. The very bottom of the bottle was sort of turbid and milky. So they're going to take that back to the lab, hopefully plate it out and find some usable yeast on it and see maybe if they can't recreate this 150-year-old bottle of kind of beer. They think. They're not sure. I just think it's funny that somebody actually tried to taste it. Do you hear about this lady who got trapped inside the car wash for an hour? I enjoy going to the car wash. Not in this particular context, but I don't go that often. But there's a car wash in Petaluma that they have like disco lights inside, and the lights turn, they're like LED neon lights, and they're red and they're blue and they're green, and then they swish around and the kids love it. And okay, so this is the car wash. In this particular car wash, things did not go very well. This happened in Pennsylvania. Felicia was on TikTok and she said she was at the Waynesboro Waterworks car wash when the system abruptly shut off and the doors closed while her car was still covered in soap. The video shows her trying to use an emergency button inside the car wash, but that doesn't work either. She tried to knock on the doors and call for help, but no one heard. She ends up calling the police from inside the car wash, and they come out and they get her out of the car wash. But she's in there for about an hour. She said she and her car were not hurt in this, and she doesn't bear any ill will toward the car wash owner, who apologized and gave her a stack of free car wash gift cards. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should have better eyes on the car wash. Maybe a camera so you could see if somebody gets stuck in there. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, now to this story. This is a story about medieval monks who wrote over a copy of an ancient star catalog. And we know this because scientists have now been using a particle accelerator to see the text that is below the new text from the monks. The original parchment of this document initially contained references to a star catalog and maps created during the 2nd century BCE. So interesting. The paper must have been so hard to come by, or the messages so necessary to hide, that they wrote over it. A little more than 1,000 years ago, the monks at St. Catherine's Monastery in Egypt's Sinai Desert removed Western Palestinian Aramaic and Greek writing from animal skin parchments and replaced the words with the Syriac translation of writings by John Climacus, also known as Saint John of the Ladder. So they created something called a palimpsest, the text whose original writing was mostly erased to make room for new work. The new work is called the Codex Climaci Rescriptus. The parchment's extremely expensive at the time, so reusing pieces was a common practice. But scientists say the original text might not be completely lost. And they looked at it, they scanned it, and they say it seems to contain copied portions of a 2nd century BCE star catalog with maps originally created by the Greek astronomer Hipparchus, who is known as the father of scientific astronomy. So they're now using a type of particle accelerator at the SLAC National Accelerator Lab to uncover the hidden words here. The X-ray beams from the synchrotron at SLAC are helping uncover long erased, overwritten star maps, and they are doing it by scanning for trace metals left behind by the original inks. Super cool. So previous work has revealed that many pages of this document come from a 5th or 6th century CE book, which included a copy of an astronomical poem, which was called Phenomena, written by the Greek poet Aratus in the 3rd century BCE. And along with that poem appear to be transcriptions from Hipparchus's star catalog completed about 129 BCE. And that work is the earliest known attempt to record accurate coordinates of many celestial objects observable with the naked eye. They have very little of Hipparchus's work. He liked to document on papyrus, and it hasn't necessarily endured the test of time. So researchers are often relying on writings of later authors to investigate that Greek astronomer. Some of his known stellar coordinates have reached modern day scholars through Latin translations of Aratus's poems and related texts as well. So they start at SLAC scanning 11 pages of codex, which were sent to this lab in Menlo Park, California, by the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. And they use the synchrotron light source instrument, which really jams out the intense X-ray beams, so they can unveil the document's hidden text based on the ink composition, different from that the monks used to write over it. And it's already revealed the ancient Greek word for Aquarius and details about stars within the constellation. The goal, according to the leader of this project, is to recover as many of these coordinates as possible to help us answer some of the biggest questions on the birth of science. Why did they start doing science 2,000 and more years ago? How did they get so good at it so fast? Because the coordinates they are finding are incredibly accurate for something that is done with the naked eye. The scribe who copied Phenomena, which details how various constellations rise and set onto this parchment, integrated descriptions of the stars' positions, probably based on Hipparchus's work. And the object's coordinate system and accuracy align with references to this ancient astronomer's writings. There's an appendix which includes coordinates of the stars discussed in the poem, and then little sketches of stars on the maps. It's cool. I'm looking forward to see what else they uncover here. They say, who knows what this star chart study will show? We're looking forward to finding out as well. I thought that was so fascinating. It's like the painting over the painting. What lies beneath, right? This pipe organ is going to be playing a single non-stop song. if all goes right, until the year 2640. That's a really long time. It's an avant-garde composition. It's called Organ Squared ASLSP. That's what you're looking at there. On September 5th of 2001, a concert started inside a medieval church, and it continues to this day, and if all goes as planned, the performance won't finish for another 616 years. It is John Cage's Organ Squared ASLSP, and it is shortening. Apparently, it goes as slow as possible. It's a custom-built electric pipe organ, and it only has 9 chords. The current one started in February of 2024, and the next chord won't play until August 5th of 2026. At that point, an A to the 4th chord will ring out for 911 more days. So John Cage died in 1992 at the age of 79. But his fans and his critics are still talking about his work. They discovered the Chinese divination system philosophy into his art, or he incorporated it into his art, and was particularly interested on topics of sound, time, and chance. So this organ he developed has this not flurry of melodies, but 4 minutes and 33 seconds of pure silence. And then apparently it's just this ongoing music. Although a musician can play this organ or the tune that it emits on a variety of instruments, the organ is arguably the only one up for the challenge. It's not like a traditional piano. It's designed to maintain sound for indefinite periods of time. It produces a sound from a key hammer striking a string that then resonates, and those vibrations diminish over time, causing the sound to fade and end. In comparison, an organ creates a sound from bellows pumping air through metal pipes. So as long as there's air in the organ, there's sound. We don't know how a 639-year performance is possible, because we're not going to be around when it finally wraps this thing up to see the finale, and no one is expected to constantly play the church's organ. So it relies on sandbags to depress wood keys while electrically powered. It's got a backup generator. I don't know. It's interesting. I'll say that. I have video. And just for the heck of it, I think we should watch it or listen to it. See what this whole thing sounds like. All right. I'm going to take down the picture of the pipe organ. And here it is. Oops. Just on and on and on. And that's what happens for 669 years. Different tones, 9 tones. I find that incredibly annoying. No. I'd be begging for that 4 minutes of silence, to be honest. Stop. Oh, man. Yeah, no. Art, man. I'll tell you, different people have different opinions of what art is. This is another lottery winner. These people are April and Randy, and they went to the doctor's office. They're from Illinois. They went to the doctors. They were on their way. They're friends. They're not married. They're friends. They were on the way to the doctor's appointment when they decided, let's stop for a lottery ticket. They're longtime friends and coworkers, and Randy was taking his wife to a doctor's appointment. So Randy and April then stopped at the Jewel Osco in West Chicago, and they bought a quick pick ticket for the January 7th Lucky Day Lotto evening drawing. Randy said, listen, we were just at the right place at the right time, because they end up winning $350,000. They have a long-standing agreement to split any lottery winnings. So they do splitsies. They said we were in total disbelief. At first, Randy thought we'd won 350 and joked about buying more tickets, but when I checked the app, I saw it was 350,000, and April said then everything changed. People always told us, "You're never going to win," said Randy, but we'd laugh and say, "One day we'll hit it." And the attitudes, they say, of their coworkers have now changed. Everyone at work started giving us high fives and congratulating us. They plan to use the winnings for property investments, retirement savings, and perhaps a vacation as well. Randy's wife wants to go to Ireland, and he said, since I don't fly, I might be getting a tattoo instead. Take a cruise, Randy. Come on. Go to Ireland. Live a little. All right. Shall we? Now, let's do one more story before we go to the waterfalls of the day. You too, if you have an extra 3-4 million bucks, can own this scroll. It is 121 feet long, and it is Jack Kerouac's early draft of On the Road. He taped pages together to avoid loading paper into his typewriter. And they think it'll sell for as much as 4 million, between 2 and 4 million at auction. It is, they say, one of the Beat generation's most defining works. It will be auctioned off at Christie's. Jack Kerouac's On the Road, published nearly 70 years ago, is a classic. It is on this unique scroll measuring 121 feet long. He typed about 100 words a minute. He despised being disrupted by replacing papers in the typewriter. So he liked to use these scrolls, or more often, he taped paper together so that his hands could keep time with his mind and he wouldn't have to stop. This is the original and only scroll for the first draft of Kerouac's masterpiece. It's widely considered to be the most iconic artifact of the Beat generation, one of the most celebrated artifacts in American literature, and when you roll it out, it actually looks like a road. If this is to be believed, legend has it that Kerouac wrote the entire book in 3 weeks. It's something that he said himself during an interview with Steve Allen. And so there was this impression that he just spontaneously wrote this book in 3 weeks. I think what his brother-in-law said, I think what Jack should have said was, I typed it up in 3 weeks. On the Road was actually created over several years, between 1947 and 49. There are earlier drafts of the book, but it was typed up in April of 1951. But he wrote 6 more drafts between 51 and 57 when he was shopping this book around to editors. He had this myth that he created, Kerouac, that he was this spontaneous writer, that everything he put down was never changed. And a Kerouac scholar tells NPR that's really not the case. He was a supreme craftsman devoted to writing and the writing process. So this scroll that you're seeing here was purchased at auction in 2001 for $2.4 million. The owner of the Indianapolis Colts bought it. His name is Jim Irsay, but Jim died last May. And so now it's going back up for auction. Even though Irsay loaned it for exhibitions much of the time, this is not, by the way, the only Kerouac artifact up for sale in March. The original type scroll of the Dharma Bums, which Kerouac published in 1958, is expected to sell for between $300,000 and $500,000. The first edition copy of the Dharma Bums that was owned by Hunter S. Thompson is expected to sell for between $2,000 and $3,000. And there's some other big ticket items too. Nirvana's Kurt Cobain, the items, the guitar that he used to record Nevermind and In Utero, Jerry Garcia's Tiger guitar used during his last performance with the Grateful Dead in 95, the saddle worn by Secretariat during the horse's famous Triple Crown win in 1973, and a golden ticket used in the production of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory in 1971. So these are some of the things that will be up at auction next month at Christie's. This one expected to sell for between $2.5 and $4 million. So, all right, it is time for Waterfall Wednesday. Take a deep breath in and release. And here we go to waterfalls. And today we're going to Samoa. And look at that waterfall. These are 8 of the best waterfalls in Samoa for nature lovers and for hikers. And I'll see if I can say this right. This is Papa Itai Falls. Papa Itai. It's in the village of Tiavi, and it is one of the best waterfalls in Samoa. It is over 100 meters high, surrounded by lush tropical rainforest, a very picturesque backdrop, as you can see from the picture. And the falls get their name from this Samoan phrase, Papa Itai, which means dry land, because this water appears to vanish into thin air as it goes careening down the cliffs. So you can enjoy the panoramic views of the falls from a lookout, or you can take a really challenging hike down to the base for a closer encounter with the water coming down. But that's Papa Itai Falls. That's cool. The next one is Togiga Falls. I'll get it. Here it is. Oh, that's so pretty and serene, isn't it? It is in the heart of the Ole Pupupue National Park, and this is another one of the best waterfalls in Samoa, the Togiga Falls. It's a series of cascading falls and swimming holes, offering the perfect spot for a refreshing swim. The name Togiga translates to falling water, so it's a perfect description for the water you see tumbling down the rocks in this picture, in this beautiful waterfall. That really makes you want to swim, doesn't it? I mean, that's Valentine's Day high romance there. Little picnic, little swimming in the waterfall. The next one is called Sopoaga Falls. And here is a picture of Sopoaga. Look at that. Green, lush, beautiful land. Located in the village of Lotofaga, Sopoaga Falls is another one of the best waterfalls in Samoa, said to take your breath away. The falls plunging into a deep freshwater pool, creating a mesmerizing sight. The name Sopoaga means big splash, and it describes the impact of the falling water into the pool below. Yes, it does. The next one is called Puipisia Falls. It is in the village of Lepea, and it too is a series of cascading waterfalls. It's really, really high, this one, and very picturesque. The falls are surrounded by lush vegetation and are best enjoyed from the natural swimming pool at the base of the waterfall. Puipisia translates to water spray, reflecting the mist that fills the air as the water plunges into the pools below. The next one is called Afu'au. Here is the Afu'au waterfall. So pretty. This one, also known as the Olemoe Falls, is stunning. It's on the southeastern coast of Savaii Island. It's a cascading waterfall that flows into a beautiful ocean-fed swimming hole, which creates this mesmerizing fusion of fresh water and salt water. The name Afu'au means large pool, which describes the expansive swimming area formed by this waterfall. Bit of a hike to get to this one, though. You've got to go through the lush coastal forest. You can hear the sound of crashing waves as you hike along, and the louder the waves get, the closer you get to this waterfall. Upon arrival, you're greeted by the sight of the waterfall pouring into this crystal clear pool. You can take a dip in the cool pools or relax on the surrounding rocks and absorb the natural beauty of this area. The next one is called Falefa Falls. I think I have Falefa Falls. So pretty. I think here it is. This is Falefa Falls. And it looks smaller and sweet, I will say. There's Falefa. Falefa Falls is on the northeastern coast of Upalu Island, a popular destination. The falls plunge into a large swimming hole surrounded by lush greenery, perfect spot for a refreshing swim. And the name Falefa refers to the village where these falls are located. To get there, it's a short hike through a scenic rainforest, kind of an easy hike for hikers of all levels. And you get to see some beautiful bird life on the way and listen to the soothing sound of the water. And then you can take a dip in the cool water once you reach the waterfall. The next one is called the Tama Sua Ocean Trench. It is, again, the Tama Sua Ocean Trench. And I think I have a picture of that to show you. Here it is. You can see why it's called the Ocean Trench. Yeah, that looks like a big drop. I don't know if I'm going to swim in there. Not technically a waterfall, but the Tamasua Ocean Trench is said to be a must visit because it's a natural wonder in Samoa. It's a unique geological formation that features a deep freshwater pool that's surrounded by towering cliffs. Tamasua means big hole, and it refers to the impressive depth of this trench. To get here, you have to go through a short hike through a lush rainforest, and then the landscape transforms into this beautiful site with steep cliffs encircling this inviting pool. If you want to take a dip in the turquoise waters or enjoy the adrenaline rush by jumping from the cliffs into the deep pool, you can do it. I don't know if I would. They say this trench offers an unforgettable experience for adventurous souls. So that's what you got. The Tamasua Ocean Trench. Who is going swimming in the ocean trench? Anybody? I don't know. When you say ocean trench, and my first thought is, yeah, probably not so much. I don't think I'm going in. Yeah. No thanks. I have one more on the list. And I hate to not show it to you, but I couldn't find a picture of it. Searching high and low, I found lava fields. I think this is it, but I'm just not sure. The website didn't contain a picture of it, and this is the only picture that I could find that seemed like perhaps it was related. It's not very green. Here it is. There it is. This is, you can see Jacob crawling on the floor behind me. This is situated on the Savai'i Island. It's the Sele Aula waterfall. And it's called hi Jake, it's called a hidden treasure waiting to be explored. It's a secluded, since you're home early on a Wednesday, why don't you grab your ukulele and maybe you can play like Aloha Oi, or you can play some type of song that you know on the ukulele on the way out. You want to do it?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
A little bit.
All right, a live performance coming your way. This waterfall can be reached through a short hike through a tropical rainforest. It gives you a sense of tranquility and seclusion, and the name Sale Aula refers to the village where this waterfall is located. It's known for its volcanic history, a very rich cultural heritage. They say as you make your way through the forest, you come to this sense of serenity with only the sounds of nature accompanying your journey. And the trail leading to Sale Aula waterfall is pretty easy. allows hikers of all skill levels to enjoy its beauty. And once you get to the falls, you see this cascade of water flowing into a tranquil pool, and you can do a little swimming there. They say it's heaven for nature lovers and swimmers, and showcases the beauty of Samoa's landscape. And that is Waterfall Wednesday. All right, Jakey, you want to play a little something?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Oi, hello, oi, until we meet again. A found embrace, hello, until we meet again.
Yay! Thank you for that live performance. You're amazing. Awesome. How was school?
It was good.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, let me wrap up the after party, and then maybe we can do some homework. I know.
I actually have no homework today since it's National Play Day.
Oh. Okay. Thank you. Oh, I'm telling you guys. All right. So this is the after party live. You coming to get paper? Love to hear sweet Jacob, says Nancy. Thank you. Awesome. Jacob, says
Thank you.
Jano.
I know.
Oh, well, don't be too egotistical about it. Yvonne says yes. Mindy Lee says yes. Little ukulele. I think it's funny how ukulele music just kind of soothes the soul. You want to play it one more time? Let's do it again.
Sure.
A little louder this time. Play day is my favorite day, says Mindy Lee. Yeah, they got to bring games to school today because it's National Play Day.
And I got to make cards. We basically made our own style of cards and then played with them.
Oh, that's fun. All right. All right, let's do it one more time. You want to do it?
I'm actually going to play La Bamba.
Oh, can you play La Bamba on the uke?
Mhm.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Para bailar la bamba, para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia para mi para ti. Ay arriba, ay arriba, ay arriba, ay arriba, por fin seré,
por fin seré, por fin seré. Bamba, bamba. Yeah.
Bamba, 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 bamba.
Ah, I loved it. Thank you. What a nice little serenade we got today.
Next time and subscribe. Or
Subscribe. You're a better YouTuber than I am.
Or I will be nonstop playing ukulele at your house and you will never see the light of day again. Anyways, bye.
Bye. Jacob, everybody. Well, that was fun. What the sizzle says, now that's entertainment. Mobius says La Bamba, the song that makes no sense, but who cares? I'm sorry. Thank you for humoring me as I put my kids on my YouTube show. Oh my goodness. Bravo from Tammy. Bye, Jacob, says what the sizzle. Absolutely. Ukulele, I'm still breathing. This was my son's favorite song in the late 80s. That's awesome. Jacob on stage at next year's Grammys. He's not bad, is he? I'm telling you, these musical kids, I have no idea where they get it. Only I just know that it's not from me. So that's it. All right, everybody. Tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, 11 a.m., hopefully, if the internet will hold out for him, we have Greg Palast will be on the show. It'll be really interesting to hear his take on nationalizing elections. Also, David Katz will be on the show. I've already compiled some stories to present to him, so it'll be really good. And then it's the after party with trivia, followed by the Nikki Maduro show at 5 p.m. Pacific on Thursday evening. So all of that is happening tomorrow. But until we meet again, make it the very best rest of your day. And I just hope you have a really good one. All right, everyone. Bye. Oh, and thank you to everyone for, before I let you go. Yes, as Jacob says, please click like and subscribe. Thank you to everyone for contributing in all the ways you do, and that is from sending ideas and from spending your hour here with me every day, weekdays, much appreciated. And of course, for supporting the show financially as well. Deborah S has a recurring PayPal payment that came through. Wes throwing in yesterday his PayPal payment as well. Carol S, Rhonda A, Wes again. You guys, thank you so much. Couldn't do the show without you. So thank you to this entire community who makes this show possible. All right. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.